Hi, this is Isabel, and I am going to be composing my toward and answer response for my portfolio today after all the research that I've been doing on my question. So I'm just going to begin by looking over the assignment, and I'm obviously going to start by stating my research questions. So, research. Well, I'm going to talk about my research journey. So the first research question I don't actually know if that's relevant. Sorry, it's weird to talk while I try and write because I usually backspace a lot. Today applies to the question. I have been working these past this 2 months. I want to phrase it exactly the way I phrased it in my first response. So let's see. Be able to find it here. There we go. Oh, I haven't been keeping track of how long I've been recording. 1 minute and 45. Okay. I don't have my phone right now, so I can't set a timer. So now we're at 2 minutes. It's 2:06 at 2. Oh boy. Okay. In 18 minutes, I will stop. So 2:26. So you might notice that this question is actually a little bit different than the one that I have right here. And actually, this was the first question that I had. And then this is the revised new one. I just ended up changing it here because when we did group work in class last week, I was told by a member of my group that independent made more sense, so I changed it here. But this was the question that I started with. So I'm going to talk a little bit about why I changed it. Oops. This is my current question. What are the social, cultural, and financial benefits of supporting independent fashion designers versus fast fashion chains? Sorry, please ignore my messages. I know that we were joking around in class about messages popping up, so they might just try and ignore it. I'm sorry. That's good. I don't know how to phrase this. It is better to not support. Let's see what else. My answer. As of now, my answer is still in the works. But what I've come to realize thus far is that my original assumptions about fast fashion were correct. It is a waste of money, as the quality does not stand up over time. It is bad for the environment and for the people tasked with creating it. As many sweatshops are in violation. The materials being used to make the clothes contain traces of toxic. And I haven't really gotten to this in my research yet, but I would like to. The one area where I have not been able to form a response is the cultural benefits. My assumption is that supporting independent designers could have a multitude of cultural benefits, such as creating a deeper connection American's own culture. For example, so just an example I'm going to give is I know dashikis are these dresses, and I know that there are probably independent designers who make them. So let's see. So let's see right here. It's called Koala Co. Let's see. Yeah, so this is not like a fast fashion brand, and it's not like a, something that like a lot of people would know about. I don't think. Like, I've never heard of this store before, and I don't think that they have like multiple locations. I don't even know if they have a store, but this is a great example. So I'm gonna put this in there. The company Koala. I'm gonna make sure they're independently owned, but. There we go, our story. Let's see. From socially responsible. Okay, this is interesting. Socially is an online boutique. And you probably wouldn't find a piece like ones offered by Koala or a similar independent at a mass chain store like, I'm trying to think of a chain store, Forever 21. As well. So we're going to talk about the sources that I use to help me support this. And in my annotated working bibliography, I actually decided that there are a few sources I wasn't going to use, so I can still do more research and replace those sources. And I think that that's going to really help me when I draft when I work on my final version of this draft. Is going to be finding sources that will replace the sources that I decided weren't relevant or weren't valid or credible, and then using those new sources to help me formulate a more complete answer, because I still very much feel like I'm working towards an answer. So the article that I first wanted to start with is this, which I loved, and I actually thought it was a lot more helpful than like I imagined it would be, because even though this, I talk a little bit about this in my annotated working bibliography, my other Camtasia recordings, even though this article is not, like, even though I'm not sure about this website, this article initially appeared in like List First, which makes me, and like on List First, I talk about this in my annotated bibliography, but it's not like super valid, but it has valid points that I'm looking into using other sources. So it's kind of given me a lot of direction. Like, for example, human trafficking. Like, this is a huge problem in the fast fashion and like clothing industry conditions. So I'm going to start by going through here, and I'll start by explaining my first fast fashion is usually being affordable at certain stores. This is true. Check this out. You can get something like a tank top for maybe $3. Let's see. If we sort by the price low to high, let's see what the cheapest tank top we can buy on here is. Yeah, so you can buy a tank top at Forever 21 for $2. Like that for, you can buy basic pieces like a tank top. Let's see how much their cheapest t-shirt is. You can buy a t-shirt, a men's t-shirt for $3, so for less than $3. But there's a reason those items cost. Those items don't cost very much. And it's because they simply aren't made very well. Let's check out this $1 V-neck. There's one review. Good afternoon. I'm very in love with them. But 95% cotton, 5% spandex, made in Guatemala. I mean, these materials aren't like the nicest of materials, and like this is a very basic item, but you know, I feel like this would stretch, or like have there'd be a hole in it very quickly, because if you look at a tank top from a better brand, I guess, like let's say Reformation, it's a great socially responsible store. Not that the Reformation, that always happens. Great socially responsible store called Reformation. If we look at their most basic tank top, we can do low to high too here. They're cheap. It's $28, and you know that's a pretty substantial difference. And if we look at the fabric and care, it's a jersey. The content's not even known, but it's like a jersey fabric, and you know it's hand washed, and it was made sustainably in Los Angeles. So I'm going to talk about that. This, for example, this, let's take, link back to that V-neck tank top. I lost the tank top, but I need to stop this soon anyways, so I'm just going to finish writing the sentence. And this is very much a draft. I feel like I didn't get into why my sources are helping me, that type of thing. And I definitely haven't started talking about my personal experience yet, which I'll get to, but this was just the first 20 minutes, and I think that I'm on a good track because I do want to like highlight this with real life examples that I'm just researching for, it took me less than 5 minutes to find this stark contrast between materials and designers, and like this is only one example, and I feel like I'll definitely be able to do this with retailers that are like a little bit higher end than Forever 21, like a Zara, which is still fast fashion, but it's not outrageously cheap fast fashion. So that's kind of where I'm going to go with this. So yes. So I'm just going to save this as a draft. It's saved as a draft. I'm not going to post it yet because it's not done, but that's it for today. Thanks.